Hello, everybody. This is Holly with Holly Hopkins Jazz and coming at you from the HH Jazz Closet. This is an episode of Closet Conversations, and today I am extremely happy to have with me Mike Holstein. If you know him, I know you love him. It's at Like the Cow. He's playing on his last name. Very clever, Mike. Has anybody told you you're clever?
Well, I don't know that it was my idea, but yeah.
Well, very good idea. And so, hey, we're going to dive into the musical mind of Mike Holstein. So, hey, first off, Mike, like a couple minutes ago when we hopped onto this, you were singing a tune, super happy, and
Oh,
super
was I?
excited. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know. Mark it down, everybody. No, but you just sold a guitar. So that's exciting.
Oh no, I didn't sell. It was a repair, but I got it out of
But
the
you do
house. Yeah,
repairs. Okay, so
yeah.
for everybody, hey, that if you're not aware, Mike is also a luthier and he builds guitars, he sells guitars, he repairs guitars, but he also does repair work on double basses, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm supposed to have another one of those coming in soon. I'm
Awesome.
just.
So,
I look bad. I look sad about it because it takes up my whole shop. They're so big.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So your shop is there. We're going to
Uh,
do an episode here coming up soon about your shop. We're going to get to see behind the scenes in your shop, what you're
yeah.
working on. You've got a lot of cool stuff in your shop. So tell me first, in terms of that, before we leave this subject. Um, so you did you play double bass first or guitar, or how did that all kind of come about?
That's a very good question. I mean, when I was a really little kid, I was playing just guitar,
Okay,
and that was probably what I played first. I can't really remember what. There was always instruments all around.
yeah,
And my mom played piano. Everybody in the family played guitar.
okay.
My
I didn't know
grandmother
that.
played guitar. So there was a lot of instruments always around. But I think it
Okay,
was probably guitar that I played. Did I just play? Like just a kid playing.
all right.
And then I took like violin and drum lessons.
Okay.
And then I got more serious about guitar again in high school. And then I got more into percussion then, and that's what I went to college for was
Okay.
uh, percussion.
Wonderful.
Um, like more of a classical program. But anyway, then in there I switched over to playing upright bass, and I did that
Uh,
forever after that. Like I really liked that.
okay. Awesome. So not to tell your age or anything like that, but how many years you been playing then double bass? Because I know that uh
That's another
been
very
a
good
lot.
question. I always forget about kind of the timeline of things, but I
Yeah.
mean, I don't care. I'm 40. I'm 48, right?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
I think I'm
Yeah.
47 or 48.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always forget. I have to do the math now, but yeah, that was in college, like my junior year. What would have been my junior year? So what is it?
Nice.
96, 97-ish, I started playing bass. And I hadn't really played bass, so I
Right.
don't know, that was fun and challenging. And then I probably got to the upright bass at, I don't know, 99, 98, somewhere in there,
Okay.
99.
All
And then I
right.
just was more serious about that for a long time.
A long time. And now you're serious about a lot of things. So, hey, if you're just joining us, I see some of you guys are already hopping on. First of all, you can, I think through this system, you can ask Mike a question. I'll jump over to
Oh,
the
nice.
comments and everything. But hey, we're talking to Mike Holstein. It's at Like the Cow. So,
Is there
hey,
comments?
first and foremost, Mike, I gotta thank you publicly for your support of Holly Hopkins Jazz and me
Oh, yeah, thank you.
personally. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I thoroughly enjoy working with you and everything. But I got to tell you, I'm also a fan. I'm a fan of yours. What you create musically is fascinating to me. I enjoy
I
it.
appreciate that.
And there's a lot of different projects you're working on, a lot of different feels and different types and styles and everything. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with folks today.
Cool. Yeah.
You are you're working with Jason Moore, correct? And
Uh
you
huh.
guys have a group. It's called the Me Him Group.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So tell me a little bit about that project and how it started and developed and what your
right.
musical interest is in developing that product and how you guys
Sure.
approach a gig together.
There's a lot of tech involved in that gig, and I really think that we kind of just snuck up on that kind of organically. We were just doing gigs together. Like he was hiring me for things, and I was trying to hire him for duo, trio. If we had like duo, trio, quartet stuff, we were working together more, and learning each other's original music and stuff. And
Mhm.
I really can't remember how it came about, but like he did a lot of electronic stuff more so than I
Right.
did or I have in the past. Like he did a lot of things. I guess that was in Louisiana when it's like uh, he was talking about something with a Palm Pilot where he was running live
Yeah.
effects and
Yeah.
like uh, anyway, he was already kind of doing that, and I was just
Sure.
kind of getting started on playing guitar more,
Yeah.
and with the upright bass, you just kind of you don't. I mean, you can do effects, but it's not quite as fun that way. There's not like
Right.
pedals and stuff. So I was just starting to kind of get into that, and we really kind of we just kept ramping it up.
You developed it together and you kept adding on stuff. Okay.
We just kept ramping it up. He'd be like, "Oh, I got the," and then we oh, we get, and it's not just like a. I mean, it is kind of like a gear, whatever, but
The
it's
gear
it's
fest.
really like it's kind of like that. But we're trying to like solve problems too. So I think we both. I mean, I don't want to speak for Jason necessarily, but I think we both kind of have this like problem solving thing that we like to like. Like one of the things that I built is like a hybrid guitar where I play that with we use that all the time, the bass and guitar
Yes.
together, and trying to come up with ways of playing like uh, bass and drums together, or bass and like
Hmm.
mixing different jobs together, and I think we both like that problem solving aspect of whatever that looks like. And is there a pedal that like he has a piece of software he just recently got that's like um, he can play the saxophone and it sounds like six horns, and then he can mess with the
Neat.
pitch and stuff like that. It's like how do you solve that problem and make music with it too? Like it's
Right.
not just like a
Right.
cool effect necessarily. It is cool effect, but it's like where do you use that? What kind of music can you make? And we don't really. I mean, we can play songs, and we do, and we have originals of each other's we play, but we really just like to create
Create.
and try to, yeah, just like
Yeah.
make a sound, and whatever that sound is leads to other stuff, and we just kind of listen and kind of feel things out. And
Well, I'm going to share the screen
oh
here
yeah,
because it sounds like, and from working with you, I know that you are very much very into the live making music experience.
yeah,
And
I like the
yeah,
conversation of it, and you and I we do all kinds of that.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
love that you're doing that also. It sounds like that's a huge focus in this project with Jason. And I'm going to
Hmm.
see here if I can share the screen and play a little clip.
Oh cool.
Yeah, so that, let me see here. All right. Da, da, da. And give me just a second while I
Yeah.
am finding this. But I hope to be able to share this part here. Okay, well, first of all, and let me just go
Oh,
ahead and play this
interesting.
clip here.
Yeah.
Uh, this is where I was fascinated by this piece. I really like this. This is where you are creating something there in your studio. And
Uh
I'm
huh.
just going to play a couple of seconds of it so people can get a feel. And if you want to talk to this part, and then I'll jump over
Sure.
to the Me Him Live at Sovereign Kava clip. And if you want to talk about it, Mike, while it's playing, that's cool. Or we can listen straight up. That's all right. It's really cool.
This is uh this is live for one thing. Like um, there's no loop or sequence. Like that's all happening in real
Gotcha.
time. Not that that matters. It's just it's a
Good to
different
know.
kind of focus to try and like create all the music in one go without a loop or a sequence. And I'm just kind of feeling out what this is going to become. Those two samples, they're like here. That's a bing bum. That's my guitar. I've sampled into a sampler, and you
Okay.
can pitch that around. It's just kind of fun to. And then that's the instrument. I've changed all that around. I have a whole different thing now.
So yeah, so for everybody, I'm going to stop sharing that just for a second. But
Yeah,
so what you're doing is that is called a linstrument, you said.
yeah. It's this kind of thing. It's like
Okay.
uh, it's basically like a guitar shaped keyboard. If I had to
Okay.
sum it up, like that's how I'm using it anyway. But there's also some like expression capabilities that make it. Um, I mean, it's not unlike just a keyboard, but it does some things that like you can't do on a typical like keyboard. When you think about a MIDI keyboard, there's some expression controls where you can like move the pitch of two notes individually, kind of thing.
Okay. And you've put all those sounds in there individually, correct?
Well, some of them, like the sampler, is my guitar sampled.
Mm-hmm.
I just sampled a bunch of different chords, and I mean, you can. That's a different piece of gear. I don't know if I can show any of this stuff without
Mm-hmm.
making noise, but
Yeah.
that's this thing,
Okay.
and I can sample. I can sample chords, and then you can make it become just one pitch. You can change those pitches around. You can put filters on it. So I don't know. That was like a whole other kind of a deep dive for me. Was like getting into sampling,
Yeah.
and there's also synthesizers that I can trigger with the instrument. But I can trigger those samples. Um, and
Fantastic.
that's kind of what that stuff is that like Jason and I are doing all the time. It's like
Okay.
how do you solve those problems and put all this together and what's it look like what case do you put it in, you know?
Right. Right.
It's all
And then
kinds
how
of
and then doing all that and making that into a functional gig experience, that's
yeah,
a whole different
yeah.
level, So it's
Well, and we
really
do like we really lean like I mean I'm sure Jason said that too. It's like we it makes it easier when you have two people trying to do. It's like if one of us is having problems with the gear, which happens, you know, it's like the other person can cover. And you know, we can also just turn everything off and play some acoustic instruments. You
yeah,
know, it's not like we're.
interesting.
It would be different if we were showing up and like, oh, here's our tracks we've prepared. I'd
Right.
be terrified. You know, you'd have to have like a
Right.
backup computer and all that. We're not doing
Right.
that so much. So if something goes bad, like it can still just be art. It
You
can
guys
still
can
be.
play the instruments. Yeah.
We can just play the saxophone and the guitar, and that sounds
Yeah.
great too.
And
So
then
you know,
that's
we're not
great.
like yeah, and we do that a lot too. But you know, we shoot for these like technical things. Maybe it's something we've worked out. Not even like a song necessarily, but just like a thing, like a connection
Hmm.
of I
Sounds.
don't know, like yeah,
Hmm.
or like gear connections, you know. And then we
Hmm.
try it, and I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like a very experimental
Yeah.
musical project,
Hmm.
which is very, very cool, very different. That's kind of the key from maybe other projects that people have watched. So, for
Hmm.
those of you who are true music chasers, I know that music chasers are people. I call them music chasers. They love all genres of music, but they like to seek out live music experiences. I just think this what you guys are doing now. First of all, I want them to come hear you and me in the Lake Norman area. Hey, don't forget us.
Yeah, of course.
But I
Yeah, it's not
think
far.
like what you and Jason are doing is super cool, super experimental, and let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen again.
Yeah.
And well, before I do, I want to just say that people can follow you separately. I'm going to talk. I've got all that showing, scrolling now, I guess, on the screen.
Oh yeah,
But
that's great.
also the Me Him band, and
Uh huh.
that's ME / him or just Me Him. But anyway, they can go to your page and look for it, right?
Yeah, I'll look for that on. I think we
All
have an
right,
Instagram.
sounds good. And then let me share this screen. I'm going to go ahead and share this uh, project that I'm going to share is a performance from Sovereign Kava, which is in the Asheville area. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes, that's a really nice art kind of venue where you know, their main
Yeah.
revenue is kind of music and art and kava. You know, it's a little bit
Yeah.
different than playing in a bar, which is really not really refreshing. It's nice.
It looks very cool. I'm going to play just a second or two of
Yeah.
this, and so folks can get an idea of what you guys are doing. You're playing the instrument now, is that right?
Yeah, I think I'm playing like bass on it, kinda.
Gotcha.
That sound is the 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 synthesizer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And Jason's also operating some stuff there while he's playing sax.
Well, if we were doing something there, I'm probably like covering up a transition to whatever he's gonna do, you know.
Gotcha.
But like
Yeah,
we don't really know what's coming.
I love it.
Yeah, I remember liking this moment a lot.
I'm going to give you a like on this. I can't believe I've not liked it yet. So, hey, I think that gives folks kind of an idea. They can go back and listen to that. Let me, well, hang on a second. Let me go back over here and put that on pause. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
you know
that's really
we're
cool.
creating all that in the moment in a cool way. That's fun to it's fun to be a part of it, and just hearing a little clip of it's fun too because we do some stuff that kind of sounds like it's I think it sounds like it's composed, you know, instead of
Hmm.
just improvised. And
Well,
I think that's one of those moments where it's like we had a thing and then there was a transition to another thing and we're really just listening to each other and like I mean nobody I don't know we I always say that like we try to like make any idea valid. You know,
okay,
it's like if it's improv comedy, there's that thing. It's called like uh, yes and or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's
okay,
like
yeah.
if
Well,
somebody's
and
if
you're
they're improvising, you don't shut them down. You go yes
yes,
and you go. You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
So it's the musical mind. Again, it's I love
Yeah.
this product and this project you're doing because then you can really kind of really hone in on
Uh,
letting each other musically express what
totally.
is going
Yeah.
on in your mind, and it's a safe
Like
place.
we don't even have to say it. You know, like he
Yeah,
doesn't have to say,
love
"Hey, I'm
it.
going to try this thing." It's just like you bust it out
Just do it.
and we
Do it.
make it's like any idea can be art and music and valid and we just
Right.
make it work.
Well, I think that that is super cool. Now, something very exciting that's going on tomorrow night for you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
You guys are going to be at Sierra Nevada, the Mills
uh-huh,
River location, which is in North Carolina. They've got two amazing locations, and one of which is in North Carolina outside of, I guess, Asheville in Mills River.
yeah,
And
near the
I
airport
want
kind of.
very much to drive over tomorrow and hear you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to, but you guys are going to be performing with
Uh-huh.
King Garbage, and that is pretty cool. He's a very cool artist, and he's going to be on drums and some other equipment that you have kind of
Yeah.
worked with him on developing for him for
Mm-hmm.
his gigs. And then he is bringing you and Jason on the Me
Mm-hmm.
Him project. So you guys are
Yep.
going to do a trio gig tomorrow night. So what time are y'all doing that?
That starts at does that start
Seven,
at 5:30?
5:30, 7:30?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a couple hours.
I think it's 5:30 to 7. I'm pretty
Gotcha.
sure that's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If you're in that area, listeners, hey, go take a listen, take a look. That is going to be an amazing project
And I
and
think we're
performance.
inside. I don't
Okay.
it's nice to play outside, but I think we're inside tomorrow.
Yeah, that might be good considering the
Mm-hmm.
attempt. But yeah, so that's really, really cool. And I know that you and Jason, the Me Him project, you guys work uh, on different projects. Your schedule will be online.
Uh-huh.
I know you posted about that. But if you can go, hey, everybody, and see Mike and Jason with King Garbage tomorrow night at Sierra Nevada, the Mills River location in North Carolina, don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. Now, we've already run over time, so I
And I
apologize.
looked and we
Oh,
have It's
You've
like
got
me him.
that's it, mehim.band. So
Yeah, I
you
think
can follow that
that's probably
project.
all of our stuff.
That's awesome. Hey, before I forget, you and I will be at
Uh huh.
a fabulous
That's
location
this
this
Friday, right?
Friday. Exactly.
Yeah,
So I'll
this
just
Friday
share
the
that.
28th.
Yep. Join us at Davidson Wine Company, everybody. And
Hmm.
we'll be doing some live music. And I don't know if we'll be on the patio or not because of the weather. So
I know,
we're
right?
kind of
It
watching.
is nice outside there too.
We were going to start the patio season this Friday, but hey, join us 6:30 to 9:30. Either way, just tell
Hmm.
Davidson Wine Company that you want to be near the band. So, Mike, we're going to do this again. I've already run over time, so I
That's
apologize
great. I appreciate it.
for taking up your time. I want to dig in more. Like, I want you to think about this. I want you to get back to me next time we're on this deal. I want to know, like, when you're doing a piece like that with Jason,
Uh huh.
if you and or like what we watched on YouTube, if you have like the whole sound, the whole voice in your mind, or do you start out with one element and you layer until you're satisfied with the sounds, or until you think that that is creatively expressed? I'll just go ahead, give me the 411 on that.
Yeah, it's all different. I don't. I
Okay.
try to. I might shoot for either any of that or none of it. You know.
All right.
I definitely try to like leave room. It's almost like I'm trying to like not play all the ideas and like leave room for Jason or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like intentionally leave some space. But yeah, I don't really if I have a big picture in mind, I'll say it or do you know and make it happen. But I don't. I usually like to just kind of start with like a kernel of a little idea and see what you know. It's almost like you throw that over and see where it goes over there and then
Gotcha.
how it comes back. You know.
Where it takes root, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Or maybe it's like a whole different thing, you know? Like
yeah.
maybe I think it's supposed to go some way and then he hears it different. It's like, oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought of that. I think of that as like it's greater than the sum of its parts or something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
imagine that. And now it's become this whole other or grew into this whole other thing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might have a whole idea. Like I have specific songs and so does Jason, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's an improvisation, we might try all kinds of different ways to get there.
Love it. I love it. Well, so on that note, everybody, thank y'all for
Hmm.
tuning in, and give Mike a like and a follow on his YouTube channel, on his Instagram page. Yeah, I know he'll appreciate that. And I've always thought, Mike, that when I listen to your um, some of those projects that you're doing where it's solo or it's with me, him, that anybody that is in the movie industry or something like that, I always hear your songs on like a movie or something like that. So anyway,
I
um,
think it could frame some things. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
always kind of interested in seeing what that could be like too.
yeah. So I hope people that if they see this, that they'll reach out to you. I'm sure you'd be happy to collaborate. So
Yeah,
anyway, hey, thanks, Mike, for your time. And
thank
thank you
you.
guys,
I
everybody,
appreciate you.
for this quick pop up session closet conversation. Again, this is Holly with Holly Hopkins Jazz. And I've had Mike Holstein here today. He'll be back. Trust me, we'll do this again and learn something more about the musical mind of Mike. In the meantime, hey, go support your local live musical artists, and we'll see you next time, okay? Bye bye. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.